The Val and Val Show, where conversation is art. Conversation is art. Conversation is art. You should chime in. Ain't no telling what to spark on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no telling. The Val and Val Show. You know, ain't no telling where we go on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no ceiling, cause the art of conversation is the flow. It's that creativity available when we speak, available in our homes, available in the streets. We just trying to get it sparking and take it a little deeper. Keep it casual while fireside chatting with our people. Yeah, we take it a little deeper. It get hot when we fireside chatting with our people. Cause conversation is art. Conversation is art. You should chime in. Ain't no telling what'll spark on the Val and Val. The Val and Val Show. The Val and Val Show.
Well, hello everyone. Been a while, but we're here. Got this special show tonight, and we're excited about it. As I said, you all, I'm actually taking a break, but I had these two things scheduled, so I had to honor them. So we're having a show tonight and a show in 2 weeks. And we're having a little trouble with one of our guests staying connected. However, we do have one of the other people that are not even advertised because she sent me a message and said she wanted to come on. So we had to make sure we allow her to come on as well. So welcome everyone. I hope everything's been going well with you since the last time we were on. All is well with me, just making decisions about what's going to be the next steps. But tonight, you all, what we have, we actually had Dr. LaToya Bishop on a few months ago about organ donation. And as we know, that is something that is definitely needed in the Black community because we will be on the transplant list for an extended length of time simply because we don't get any matches, and it's easy to get matches from within a race, whether they're a family member or not. So our goal is to make sure that we keep sending this message about giving life, donating life. And this episode tonight is strictly about an event that's actually going to be happening in Birmingham, Alabama on next Friday, August the 18th. So we want everybody in the Birmingham area to make sure that you come out and support this. I'm intentionally not telling you what it is because that's Dr. Bishop's job, and I ain't gonna do her job. I'm gonna let her tell y'all what it is. So I'm gonna bring in Dr. Bishop first. She back. She was having a little trouble connecting here. How you doing? How you
Hey, the
doing?
internet is gonna internet. That's all I'm gonna say. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and I hope don't know pop. Hey, yeah, I can hear you, and I hope. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dr. Bishop?
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can hear me because you didn't say
Yes,
anything. Can you hear me? Okay, you can
ma'am.
hear me. Okay, and I hope there are no pop-up storms because every night one's been popping up and it's been knocking our power out because it's been some vicious storm. So hopefully we can get through the meter while we're here tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about this lady. Dr. LaToya Bishop, she is the multicultural educator at Legacy of Hope. And AKA for you all that's been around a long time, that used to be the Alabama Organ Center years ago, but it's now the Alabama Organ and Tissue Donation Alliance. They just want to add some more words and then just get you all tongue twisted, okay? And she provides education to the community, schools, churches, and civic organizations about the process and importance of organ and tissue donation. So welcome, Dr. Bishop. Is she gone again, froze? Let me bring you in then, Tab. I'm gonna tell you about this little lady. Now she's a hero. Tabatha Sanford. She has not only had it on her license she wanted to be an organ donor, but she has become a living organ donor to her brother in love. And what I mean by that is her brother in law, but it's her brother in love. So, welcome, Tabitha. How are you?
Thank you, Val. I'm doing great.
Doing
Thank you, Val.
great. Doing great. So, how are you doing? It's been how many months now?
Actually, last month made 6 months, and I am doing awesome. I did my blood work. It was last month, and my coordinator said that all of my numbers look great to continue to do whatever it is I'm doing because I'm doing wonderful.
So, let me ask you, so do you have to come back here for your follow up?
Praise God. No, actually, I could do all the testing here in Lakeland because I live here in Lakeland, Florida.
Okay.
So I just went to Quest and they did all my blood work, my urine analysis and everything. And then they just submitted. And then my coordinator called me to let me know the results. And praise God, everything is great. My blood pressure was good. All of my testing was good. So I'm good.
So basically, so what they do, they share it, I guess, back here with the team at UAB.
That is correct.
That's all
Yes.
your numbers. Look, isn't it great how the world is now? Years
Yes.
ago, none of that would have happened. And
Right.
actually, how fast y'all recovered wouldn't have happened either.
I know. I know.
Just
Yes.
the way they're doing surgeries now,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing stuff laparoscopically, where before, as the
Yes.
old folks say, you got cut from kin to can't in this
Uh-huh.
process.
Yeah.
So you're going to be coming for this event next Friday, right?
Absolutely. I will be there.
So what are you going to be doing? What's your role?
Well, I'm just going to share our story with everyone to encourage people to be an organ donor. It is the most rewarding feeling you will ever experience in your life. To be able to give someone a part of yourself that can help enhance their quality of life, there's no greater gift. So I just want to share my story with how the process happened and the recovery time, and I just want people to see how we are actually doing, which I'm
Okay.
great. Like I said, the surgery was supposed to take 4 hours, but it actually only took 2 hours,
Okay.
and I was in the hospital for 3 days, and Mike was in the hospital for 7 days, but I just wanna encourage people that I have not had any complications, any side effects, or anything since I've had my surgery. So I just want people to be aware that doing something like this because there are so many people that's on the transplant list that never get the organs they need,
Mhm.
you're able to be a donor, I encourage you to be one. Like I said, it's the most rewarding gift that you would ever, ever give someone.
And you all, the good thing about donation now is that you can actually be as Tabitha's being a living donor.
Mhm.
Livers, kidneys, those
Yes.
things.
Mhm.
They can be done, while you're alive, and you can do
Yes.
well. Now, some people may think, "Oh my God, I am not going to give up one of my kidneys," but Tabitha, tell them how you came to this decision, the process of how this even came about when you decided to give Mike your kidney because he had been on dialysis how long?
Well, Mike had been on dialysis 4 years, and he was on the registry to get a kidney, but, nothing had ever come available. So, last May when I was talking to my sister, and after I had hung I always asked, "How was Mike doing?" Because I knew he had had dialysis. Because Mike was actually getting up at 4 AM to be at dialysis by 4:30 AM, and
Uh-huh.
dialysis was like 4 hours, 3 times a week. And God just dropped it in my spirit and just said, you're able to give him one of your kidneys. And so I called to find out what his blood type was. And not realizing that God had already lined everything up. He was B
Mm-hmm.
positive. I was B positive. I was like, oh my God. And I told him, I said, Mike, if I'm a match, you can have one of my kidneys.
Well,
And
let
it
me
just
ask you
went
this
from there.
now.
Hmm.
Hey, I know you said God told you now. Did you like say, whoa, wait a minute, God, hold up now. Am I
Not
hearing you?
not at all. No, I did not. That's the thing about it is it was no doubt, no fear whatsoever. Because my thing is that if I'm able to give a part of me to help someone else, and that's what we were
Yes.
created to do. God blesses us to be a blessing to someone else. And like I shared with him, I can live with just one kidney. I'm fine. And to be able to give him that to where he doesn't have to do dialysis 3 times a week for 4 hours each time, it was well
Yes.
worth it.
Yeah, people don't realize being on dialysis does
Hmm.
to you because it really, I mean, you can still travel and do those things, but you got to
Hmm.
coordinate all that. So, welcome
Yep.
back, Dr. Bishop. Is your internet back stopping the internet?
I'm on my cell phone now, so we're just gonna go with that for a second. So my apologies to everyone, but I think the internet has really worked today in the last few days here at my house, so it's probably tired. So we'll go with that.
Yeah. So look, so Tabitha was just sharing her story of how she came about being a donor and gave an update on how well she is doing. I mean, you all look 3 days. How many, it was about five. The fifth day when we came over to see you,
Yeah.
honey, she hadn't looked like nothing that happened to, and Mike either.
Right.
Mike either. He was doing really, really, really
Yes.
well. So
Mhm.
as she said, the Holy Spirit. It was the Holy Spirit told her to give it, and she didn't question it. So
Yeah.
now let's just be real. The majority of us would have been like, "What? Wait a minute. What you say?
You're
What you
right.
say?"
You're right.
But if you've gone through the process, you all, of discussing this and talking about it, the likelihood you are able to just go on and do this. I know another good friend in our family, my husband's childhood friend. He actually gave a kidney to one of his friends. Oh my God, it's been probably 15 years ago.
Mhm.
15 years ago. Now, when you marry, y'all, you got to get the spouse on board because it can cause some little tension. Now, you just can't you just can't make this proclamation. Thankfully, Tabitha's husband, who's been in the family a long time, he know his family.
Right.
He was supporting her, but
Yes.
I've known some stories where people like, you're not doing that. So
Right.
Right.
that's something to consider. So,
Mhm.
Dr. Bishop, so
Yes.
why don't you tell the people how long you've been doing what you're doing and what led you to really want to do it, to take on this role?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Miss Val, for inviting me back. I forgot exactly when it was. I think it was in March when
Yeah.
I was on here talking about it, getting prepared for National Donate Life Month, which is in April, and that is actually where I met Miss Tabitha, and she was actually in the hospital at the time, had just donated a kidney to Mr. Mike like a few days before. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to meet you. I need everybody to know this story. So thank you for connecting all of us together. For those that don't know, Miss Val, she is the connector of so many people. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, because we
But
had my frat brother was on here too, Rod, and then
Uh,
Tabitha, you was actually in the rehab phase when you popped in.
yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think she was maybe what 2 days in of donating a kidney. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it was just amazing how things have lined up. And now she's
Mhm.
going to be participating at our sixth annual gospel celebration. It's going to be on April the 18th at God and Light Church. So I'm excited about that. And I was like, Miss Tab, I know you're not in Alabama. She said, oh, don't worry about it. That was my old home church. I'm coming home and I'm going to have Mike to be on the stage as well. I said, yes, ma'am, whatever you say. So I'm excited about it. But I have been with Legacy of Hope for about six years now. I am the
Okay.
multicultural educator, like you mentioned earlier. And basically, what that means is that I go out and educate the communities of different ethnicities, right, that look like you and I, about the importance of organ donation and why it's so important. I'm not sure because I was trying to log on a little bit if you talked about it, but for those that are not aware, we do have a lot of people that's on the wait list. So on average, it's over
Mhm.
10,000 people that's waiting for a kidney, and 6% of those individuals, I'm sorry, waiting on an organ, and 6% of those individuals look just like you and I, of the
Mm.
minority background, right? People of color. So that's why we have to have the conversation. But a lot of people don't want to have the conversation until they know someone that's affected. In need of a kidney transplant or organ donation, or someone that is a donor that have given, that's when the conversation come up. So we try to make sure we have the conversations prior to that happening. So I do community events, churches. I don't have like a regular 8 to 5 schedule. As you can see, we're working right now and it's 7 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I work when the community works, and that's how I always said it. So the reason I came to Legacy of Hope, once graduating with my PhD, I've always wanted to do community minded events or efforts that affect people of color, right? Because I feel like primary prevention is very, very important. So when this opportunity came up and I had an opportunity to do community events and still talk to people and work with people, to improve their lives, it was something that I was like, oh, I think my skill set can match up with this. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to be working in the field. And sometimes it feels like you're not going to work because when I get to meet like the amazing Miss Tabitha or the amazing Miss Val, it's kind of like, oh my God, it's just so great. We were talking a little bit earlier, and I had to do an event this past weekend, and we had one of our ambassadors in Montgomery working with me, and her name is Miss Pat
Mhm.
Tyus. And when I was talking to her, I was like, Miss Pat, I'm sorry we don't have an influx of people coming in. She was like, oh no, this is important because if we can just touch one person, we're
Yeah.
doing our job. So, we have to be mindful of, you have to go to where the people are in order to have the conversation, because there are so many myths associated with why people don't want to become an organ donor. But I need them to understand it's so many people that look just like you and I that's in need. And, everyone doesn't sign up and say, hey, I'm going to donate my kidney. Sometimes a lot of people rely on deceased donation versus living donation. So we just try to make sure we be very inclusive to have the conversation before someone is in need.
Hey Tab, I got to put this one up for you.
Okay.
That's
Oh, Eleanor Fisher. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yes, yes. So this is Eleanor is one of our homegirls from look, we from Atmore from the Freemanville community. We have to
That's
say
right.
the Freemanville community. And Eleanor is a nurse as well. So definitely, definitely. Now, Dr. Bishop, let's talk about I
Okay.
know there are black people that need organs other than kidneys, of
Hmm.
course, for various reasons. But generally speaking, on the reason for renal transplants. Can you just talk about what usually leads to that in our community as it relates to disease and illness?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to preference this by saying I am not a medical doctor. I'm PhD, not MD. So I'm going to preference it by saying that. So I know, Ms. Val, you have um, a nursing background, right? So
Uh-huh.
you can definitely speak on it. But I will say that there is no one true cause of what leads to it, because there are so many different things that can lead to it. Some could be your diet. Some things are genetic that you have no control over that will cause someone to go into renal failure. Sometimes medications that you're taking, right? You can deal with the stresses of the world. If you have a high stress job, that can lead to
Yeah.
have other issues that are going on that will cause it'll become like a domino effect, right? So there's no one true cause of it. So there are several different factors that can be said that can lead up to renal failure. Hypertension, which is another condition that can lead to other health issues as well. So I'm going to say it's not just one true thing, but diet is very important, medication that you're taking, and then sometimes genetics. If I had to give a top three of a reason why someone would go
Reason.
into that.
And you are of those, we can definitely control our diet
Yes.
and then exercise and everything. And of course, y'all see my medical disclaimer down there. I got that rolling, okay? I have it down there for that reason. Uh, but I notice with me because I audit charts every day, it appears that some of our dialysis patients are getting really young. They're younger, getting
Yeah.
Mhm.
younger and younger. And you all, for me personally, just being a nurse, I feel like one of the biggest things is that our hypertension does not get treated early.
Mhm.
And you don't have to take a medication to treat it. It's just that when it start going up, start getting that education about
Mhm.
diet and exercise, which that goes into the disparities in healthcare, which is a whole nother show of
Yes, it
that.
is.
Unfortunately, that if I walk in as a black female and my blood pressure is elevated some, my physician may not have that conversation with me. They just like, oh, the blood pressure is up. Whereas somebody of another race may get, oh, we need to take care of this. You need to start doing this and everything. So that's why it pays you as a person to be informed and know. I know for me, I take blood pressure medicine now, but I was able to prolong that because his genetically, I knew it ran in my family real strong on both sides. I was able to end up taking medication much later in life because I knew that. So I was through diet and exercise. And then I think when I hit that 45 to 50-year-old age,
Hmm.
it went up, but still, I'm able to maintain it and control it just by being aware. So those are the things
Mhm.
that we have to be more vigilant and teaching. And like
Yeah.
you, Dr. Bishop, once I get out of this role I'm in now, currently working, that's something I want to be. I want to be a patient advocate and educator, so people
Absolutely.
can have those conversations about. There's no such thing, y'all, as borderline diabetes, borderline hypertension. If they say borderline, a touch of, you tell them I must have this, and I need you to treat it as if I do have it.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm
So
going to
that,
put my health educator hat on because when we talk about diabetes, that's what I did my entire research on. My
okay,
dissertation, primary prevention is very important. One thing that I always tell people, even if it's not related to organ donation, is that you need to be mindful of how your body feels. You need to know your numbers.
yes,
So, for example, my blood pressure is very, very low. So when I go to the doctor's office, and they said, "Oh, your blood pressure is 118 over 70." And I was like, "That's good." I said, "That's high for me because I know I normally
yeah,
have a lower blood pressure." So you need to know your numbers. You need to
Mhm.
not wait. If there's a pain, if there's something that's unexplained versus the fact that, oh, I ate some spicy food, I may have a little energy. If there's something that's going on, you need to be very proactive because you never know what that could cause. It could be a blood clot. It could be you're having a stroke. It could be that you're having, some other health issues. So you need to listen to your body, but you also need to know your numbers. So when you go to the doctor's office and have these conversations, you need to have a list on this particular day. I'm very organized. I always say that, right? I think
mm-hmm.
I'm too organized. I can say, well, this was happening to me, and I noticed that after I ate this particular food, this was what happened. So, when the doctor said, "Do you have any questions for me?" Yes, I do. By the way, blah, blah, blah. You need to be very
Mhm.
proactive about it. And it's not because you're trying to take up the doctor's time, because that time is for you. That's your appointment. And you only see that doctor maybe once or twice a year, depending upon
Yeah.
if you're going to get procedures. So you need to be very, very proactive. Or I know my sister, she had to go to the doctor, and she was, of course, you're scared because she passed out because anemia runs in our family, right? So she had to go, and she was like, "Toy, I don't feel well." We had to end up taking her to the emergency room, and I couldn't get there. I said, "Put the doctor on the phone." Put the doctor on the phone. And she was like, "My sister wants to speak to you," right? So I started asking questions. Have you checked this? Have you done this? Only because I'm very familiar with some of the medical things that go
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
And I know my sister. So after I hung up with them, I said, "Okay, now I feel better." And I'm probably about 15, 20 minutes away. However, when I hung up with her, he said, "Who was that?" She was like, "That's my sis." He said she was very detailed, asking the right questions that a lot of people don't
Mhm.
ask, right? And she
Mhm.
said, "Oh yeah, by the way, she's a doctor." And I was like, "You don't really have to say that at the end," but at the same time, it was kind of like, no, I know my sister was passing out. I know that she's been complaining about this for the last few days. So, it kind of like helped. So, I know that's not dealing with organ donation, but at the same time, we definitely need to be mindful of our health. We
Yeah.
need to be mindful and share the love and share the information with other people. I go up to a lot of my church, a lot of people from my church, they come up to me because I did part of my dissertation at my church and another church.
Mm-hmm.
And they always say, "Hey, Dr. Bishop, taking my blood pressure. I'm not eating this. I really wanted to eat some cornbread and blah, blah, blah." But I was like, "No, I'm just going to do a smaller piece. I really wanted some dessert, but I thought about you because I knew I was going to see you on Sunday, and you're going to ask me, how's it going? How's your blood pressure going?" You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things you have to be very intentional about. But again, I'm a primary prevention person. I feel that there are so many things that's non-medicine that can be used to help heal our own body, and
Yeah.
use the medicine as a
Mhm.
secondary method. And I know this has nothing to do with organ donation, but I had to put my health educator's hat
Yeah.
on for a second.
Well, but you know what it does, because what you're
Mhm.
educating people to be is those preventable things that will
Mhm.
Yes,
stop you from possibly having to go on dialysis. Because
correct.
as we know, type 2 diabetes is showing up in children. And when I was
Yes,
in
Mhm.
nursery, I was like, that was not heard of.
right.
So
They
it
only had
has
what,
switched.
type 1, right?
Yeah, they were,
Hmm.
yeah, they, and it was very young, but now it's showing up in everybody. So thank you for sharing that, because along with becoming an organ donor, we want you to be healthy enough so
Mhm.
Yes,
that you can
Right.
be one.
Mhm.
yes.
Because
Mhm.
they just don't take your organs because you
They
want to
they
give
don't.
them. Y'all, they be examined. They have to meet
Oh, yeah.
qualifications. Y'all don't watch this stuff on TV, okay?
We
Do not
don't
watch.
do it. I will add that when I go to high schools, when I'm talking to the driver's ed students, I always ask them. I put the list up of how many people in need of a heart, lung, kidney, liver, all the organs that are needed. And I ask, what do you think is causing a person to be on this wait list, right? Some of the things people say, smoking, okay, that would probably mean a person may possibly need a lung, right? And some people would be like drinking. I say, yes, that can affect your pancreas, your
Mhm.
kidneys, and then they just start calling out different things. And I always lead them with this statement and say, I don't want you to have to call our office because you're in need of a kidney or you're in need of an
Mhm.
organ. So I want you to take care of yourself. I know that you're young, you have all of this energy, but consider not drinking as many sodas. Consider not eating
Mhm.
all of the sugary foods and stuff because I don't want you to be up on this list and you be one
Mhm.
of the numbers where we're going to be in need of it. So take care of your body now. And then it'll be something that you can do years on. So, I
Oh,
always try to leave a little nugget for them when I'm
Mhm.
doing it.
that's good. So
Mhm.
Tabitha, let me ask you this. So being that you have given, been a donor,
Uh-huh.
um, have you any people that come to you and say, "Oh, as a result of you doing this, I now want to be a donor"?
Well, it's ironic because when I share my story and how I went through the process and how I'm feeling, it has gotten people to think more now, especially the African American community. So when I talk to African American people, at first they're shocked, first of all, when I tell them.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my God." And then once I go and I start to explaining that it was a decision that I made, that I have not had any side effects, any complications whatsoever. I feel great. And when I share with how well Mike is doing, then it opens their eyes and their minds to start thinking on that line of, well, if she did it, maybe this is something I should consider doing. Because just to see how it has impacted Mike's life is just truly, truly a blessing. I
Hmm.
mean, he's gained weight. The thing about it is when people are going through sickness, whether it's
Yeah.
dialysis or any kind of sickness, you can see the physical because you see the weight loss. Sometimes you see the discoloration in their skin texture and tone because it starts to darken, but you don't know the mental and the psychological effect it has on a person when they're
Hmm.
going through that. So just to be able to do this to give him a peace of mind and a better quality of life, it was so well worth it. And I share that with people that when you see your loved ones going through, it's nothing to be scared of to be tested because the testing process was so easy. The screening
Yeah.
process was so easy. The surgery was so easy. And I'm going to share this with you guys. When after I had my surgery, and I'm gonna be honest, I have four siblings. It's five of us, and I'm the weakest one when it comes to pain. I don't tolerate pain very well. I'm just gonna share it with you. And I had told my sister, I said, look, when we have after I have my surgery, I know with all surgery, pain is involved. I need
Hmm.
some high powerful pain medication. I don't want no generic, I don't want no off brand. I want the real deal. But I can honestly say that I had no pain whatsoever after I had my procedure. I have
That was
not had
God
to take
rewarding you.
I have not had to take not one pain pill. I still have the prescription. Haven't had to open it, have not dealt with any pain whatsoever as a result of my surgery.
Y'all, I'm just
Nothing.
gonna tell y'all, honey, we went over there to the whatever the hotel y'all was staying in.
Oh, too sweet.
Tabitha was running around there like nothing was going on. Do you hear
Yes.
me? Like she hadn't even been in an
Mhm.
OR.
'Cause I felt so good. I
Hmm.
felt like I just felt so good. And like I tell a lot of people, my healing came from seeing how well Mike was doing. That
Yes.
right there blessed me to see how well he was progressing, how well he was healing. Because like I said, when I decided to do this in May, Mike had open heart surgery in August to repair a heart valve
Mm.
before he could be cleared for surgery. And praise God, the surgery was a success. Once he got cleared from the heart doctor and we got our surgery date on January the 23rd, it was such a blessing. And praise God, if Lord, if it's God's will, he'll be 72 in September.
Oh
Wow.
my.
Yes. That's
And
great.
Yes.
That's great. That's
yes,
great.
and August the
So,
14th, I'll be 53. So
okay.
I just thank God that God put it on my heart and God orchestrated this for this to happen. But I tell people all the time, don't be scared about it. A lot of people said they're going to take all their organs with you. Why? If you can bless someone, if you're able to, that's the best gift you can give someone is a better quality of life.
Well, I'm
Hmm.
telling you this as a believer. I ain't taking none of this raggedy stuff because God said I'm gonna
Right.
have a new body. So hey,
That's
I'm
it.
not gonna need it. And you
That's
know what?
it.
The Tabitha, I was thinking about because one of the things you said, not tonight, but you brought up, you said Mike was kind of like, I'm tired of going to dialysis, because people
Yes.
do get to that point. of being
Yes.
tired. And so, because I
Yes.
think I asked you, I said, Tab, you never thought about it before, but then God knew when you needed, He needed to give that to you to offer
Right.
it to Him. It's just like it's dark is just before the break of dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you came
Yes.
through to be His dawn when He was at the dark. Because what happens is they started feeling guilty, like, oh, I'm running my family down. I'm just holding up their lives. So thank God came through. Because look,
Yeah.
Trisha might been, if he's 70 some, y'all, they've been married a long time. They've
Yes.
been married a long time.
Yes.
So that is just a blessing. So now getting back to you, Dr. Bishop, let's talk about Donate Life and what's going to be happening at the Guiding
So
Light Church.
I did not know that Miss Tab was an August baby. That makes it even more special to me. I am an August baby as well, August 24th. And when I talked
It's
to
my
Miss Tab,
grandmama's birthday.
I was like, oh my God, I love your energy. And now I understand why. That's all. So August, which is the best month, I'm not going to say, but this is an opportunity where we have National Minority Donor Awareness Month, where we're trying to make sure that people of the minority race or multi-ethnic, depending upon the community that you're in, we will be celebrating our sixth annual Donate Life Gospel Celebration. We will have, and it will take place at God and Light Baptist Church. We have so many amazing speakers and choirs that's going to be presenting. We starting off at 5:30 with the wellness fair. As you can see, the flyer is up there, and the concert will start at 7. We will be infusing testimonies like Miss Tabatha talking about a living donor. We have cornea recipients that will talk about that type of donation. We also have the amazing Birmingham Mass Choir will be singing along with the Fifth Friday Worship Choir that's going to be there as well too. They're featured on the flyer, and of course, we're going to have Gala Light Worship Team. So we're going to have testimonies, we're going to have music, we're going to have a wellness fair before, so people can know their numbers. And I'm so excited about it. God and Light has really opened up their doors and said, whatever you need to make this event happen, it's what we're going to do. So we're super excited about it. I do know that Donate Life Alabama, which will be one of our it's going to be the main sponsor of this, although I am at Legacy of Hope. We do work together, but we're excited about this gospel celebration. So please come out on next Friday, April the 18th at God and Light. Again, the concert starts at 7, but the wellness fair starts at 5:30. We have about 10 to 15 vendors that's going to be there as well. So I am super excited about it. I can't wait. If anyone knows me, they know that I love music. I always say music is life and life is music. So when you infuse music, some good testimonies, like great speakers like Miss Tab, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it.
Yes, so please come out and support this. Please come out. I
Mhm.
just dropped the address of Guiding Light in the chat, as well as I'm going to drop Dr. Bishop's information as well, because look, you all, invite her to your church, invite her to your
Mhm.
civic organizations, to your family reunions.
Yeah, I
Um,
will come to. I have been to family reunions.
yeah,
Isn't that something? I actually helped work on someone's obituary, their mom's obituary this weekend, because she was a recipient of a kidney. They wanted to make sure that they included that in the obituary, and I was like, "Oh, that was so sweet," because oftentimes people don't have that conversation. So for them to even reach out and say, "Hey, we want to make sure that we say." Someone donated a kidney to my mom and it extended her life for 18 months. How can we write that in an obituary? So yes, churches, family reunions, um, birthday parties. I travel. I said, like I say, I work when the community works, and we do not just localize ourselves here in Birmingham. We travel the entire state. So if there's an event going on, it's no event is too small or too big for us to come set tables up or provide you information just to share. And I promise you, I will not inundate you with so much stuff about organ donation. Just give me like 1 or 2 minutes to speak. I promise you that's going to be it, and we can go back to doing the electric slide if that's something that we're doing. Okay.
doing. And and the thing about this, having these conversations early make it easier for you when something happens, because as we know, sometimes people die tragically.
Yes.
Mhm.
I look at trauma charts every day of younger people, some older, that were maybe in car accidents, and they're clinically brain dead, and their families have to make those decisions. And you can see from the documentation those that they've had that conversation in advance,
Mm-hmm.
and those that haven't. And then the thing about that, usually if there's a whole lot of conflict, they're not going to do it among the family, because they don't, you don't want anybody to say that somebody went against their wishes. But the thing about it is to have this conversation early, and you got to start having it younger
Yeah.
too, as
Thank you, Miss
well.
Val, for saying that, because a lot of people was like, well, they're going to take it without my permission, a discussion. So what we do, if you register, we want you to have a conversation with your family members to say, if something were to happen to me, this is how I feel. So
Yeah,
when someone approach someone in the hospital, the conversation will be different. The family can say, oh, we know what my loved one wanted, or no, we're against it, or she was against it, or they were for it. So having a conversation early is amazing. So thank you
yeah,
for saying that in real time, because you see it, right?
yeah. And I'll tell you all what else you don't think about. You know, somebody may be like, "Oh, I just can't. They just can't take their heart. I can't take that."
Mhm.
That's okay. If you decide you can have everything but the heart, they'll honor that.
Yeah,
So it's not like all or nothing. There's some people, they don't want their eyes. People
right,
have reasons that they don't want things done. And
right.
that's okay. We don't think about y'all tissue. Tissue is
Thank you.
important.
Come
We think
on.
about the major, y'all, your skin is your largest organ that you have, okay? Your skin. So the surface area. So think about that. That they need that.
Yeah.
Even with they're not doing a transplant, but y'all, we have people now. If you go to the barber, you got long hair, you get a cut, you can donate that for things to be created. So y'all, our body is recyclable. That's what I'm
Yes.
gonna say. Our body is really
Yes, one person can
recyclable.
save up to 8 lives. You have your heart, lung, liver, kidney, intestines, pancreas, right? But you have the number eight comes from the fact that you have two kidneys and you have two lungs. So that's where eight comes from. And then, like you said, people don't think about tissue. So
Yeah,
you have your skin, tendons, veins, valves, skin, bone that can be donated. Although we don't do blood donation, that is a type of donation that people do,
yeah,
right? Bone marrow is another type of donation. We just
yeah,
don't do that at Legacy of Hope. So there are so many other opportunities that you can have to donate versus just saying, I'm only donating organs. And if you want to designate and say, I only want, like you said, I only want to donate, everything except my kidney, or everything except my heart, or don't take the eyes, because if I see someone with their same eyes, I may feel some kind of way. You can designate what you want to donate and what you don't want to donate. So again, the conversation is definitely important. So thank you, Miss Val, for bringing that up.
yeah. And look, you all stop running around here watching body snatchers and all that stuff. And creeping people out. And look, Ellen the Fisher just put in, she said she received a bone graft donation during neck surgery.
Oh,
So
amazing.
amazing. So you all, you don't listen. This is what I always tell people. You never know what you may need, and you may feel negative or afraid about something until it walks to your house.
Mm-hmm.
Until it walks to your house. Because any of us at any time could very well need a transplant of some kind.
Absolutely.
We don't think about that. And nothing is so great, y'all. People that can't see can see. People that heart with heart failure, their heart barely pumping, maybe like only 10%, and they get a heart, just make the whole difference. And the good thing now is that the way they do surgeries, you're not cut from your neck down to your toes. You back up and moving, and those folks can go on and can do some great quality things. The
Absolutely.
things that like with you, Tabitha, with you now having only one kidney, there are certain things they like. You might not want to do this because you still only have this one organ. And of course, they don't want you to go out, God forbid, drugs and alcohol and those type of harmful things that would definitely, if you got a transplant, would probably send you into rejection for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
just across the board, health
yeah,
wise, right? So we don't want
yeah,
to do that, right?
at all. And so you want to make sure you take care of it, because somebody, whether they were alive or deceased, made a decision so that you could have
Mhm.
an opportunity to live longer
Mhm.
and a better quality of life. I mean,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
amazing when you
Mhm.
see those patients after they get those transplants,
Mhm.
and you be like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mhm.
and you are, if you can go online, even look at some, just see when they hook their heart up and it starts beating. It's just,
Mhm.
it is just amazing. And if you can't
Yes.
give, if you thinking, well, what about adults, this or whatever, you all, there are a lot of children, you all,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are born with congenital diseases, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine? You're a child, and you got to start your life out on dialysis. Can you imagine that?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing when you see their stories. The MC, Reverend Robert Barnes, he's gonna MC the program. He's a kidney transplant recipient.
Okay.
And him sharing his story that he was just sick. He was like, I don't know what's going on. Did not know that he was gonna be in need of a kidney within a next week. And he thought that maybe this is going to be it. But of course, everybody has that praying grandmother, that praying group of circles
Yes.
to make sure that hey, we're going to get through this. We are together. So you just never know. I do know that one of our persons that's going to be speaking at the gospel celebration, she actually received pediatric kidneys. So
Okay.
that's something different. And I was like, oh my God. So her sharing her story. So we get in different perspectives of things. But I've also met kids that have had to have transplant, and even family members where their child did not make it past birth, that was
Yeah.
able to become a organ donor and help save so many kids lives. It's just so amazing of how donation will just touch people when you least
Mhm.
expect it,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
And
Yes.
then, you brought up something, Dr. Bishop, with the advancement of medicine and the study of medicine, they're now realizing there are things that can be interchanged. It used to be a child with a child, adult with adult, but now with the advancement of medicine, they realize,
Mhm.
oh, this will work,
Mhm.
which is simply amazing. I mean, you all, medicine has, and medicine has come a long ways, but if anybody think that man could come up with this wisdom and knowledge, they are kidding themselves. I just think about only God could give you the ability to even think about, I think about who thought of even to even try the first transplant.
Right.
They probably was thinking like, you about crazy. But guess what? It, wo- it
Right.
worked. And don't
Yes.
think you all. And I know this goes back to like being in trials, when they actually be in trials. I signed up for the big one that's all over the world. What is it called?
The All of Us study.
All of us study, you
Mm-hmm.
all. And I'm gonna put a blurb in here for them. You all. You make an appointment, you go over there, you get some blood drawn. I think you give some urine, and I think I got an EKG. Anyway, like a physical.
Yeah.
You get a $25 gift card, and you don't ever have to go back in your life. You do have to later on, was it? Yeah, I think I had to send a stool sample in from home. But y'all, you're done. You don't
Yeah.
have to go back anymore in your life. And what they're trying to do with this study, you all, because all our lives, all the treatments were determined based on, I think, about a middle-aged white male, the medications and all that stuff. So now they are trying to do treatments based on race, ethnicity, gender, and your family histories and all of that stuff. So this won't benefit us in our lifetime,
It
but
will.
later on, some of it will, but later on, they'll be able to say, okay, I have this black female, and we noticed in all these black females that was in this trial that maybe had hypertension, that this needs to happen. This
Right.
white female, this needs to happen. So that's what makes all of us try study good. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually um let you share some more about donation, Dr. Bishop. And I'm gonna look up the all of us link and just drop it in the chat as well.
Yes, I'm very familiar with the All of Us research study. Usually when we're going out doing community events, they're literally the next table next to me. So shout out to the All of Us family there at UAB doing it. And you're absolutely right. You know, it's a study to make sure that when medicine is prescribed to us, treatment options are prescribed to us, that people that was a part of that study look like us, so they know the effects of that particular treatment option. So I encourage you to register at All of Us. I think it's All of Us, maybe allofus.org. You're going to drop
Uh-huh.
that in the
Yeah,
chat. But
dropping it
if you
in.
have an opportunity to participate, and like she said, it's a very simple process. They may ask you survey questions throughout. But you do get a small token of appreciation saying thank you. But just think about the bigger picture, right? We want to make
Mm.
sure that people are in trials look like you and I, or look like the United States, and not just a certain population, right? Because
Yeah.
things affect people differently. So excited to be about that. But again, I'm excited about this gospel celebration that we have coming up. You should start hearing it on the radio, start seeing it on social media. So thank you, Ms. Val, for having it here, you know,
Mm.
publicized on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know any other new platforms that may come out, TikTok, whatever, but we're trying to make sure that we advertise this event so that we can get people coming in. We're doing it on a Friday because we know Saturdays are always busy for people, and
Yeah.
there's never a good time for everybody.
Mm.
So even though it's a little bit late, on a Friday after work, we'll have some snacks there so people can make sure their blood sugar and everything is up. But we definitely want you to come and get some good information from testimonies, as well as listen to some good gospel music as well. So, and Miss Tab, if you see her energy now, I know it's going to be at 100% more the day of, because we've never met in person, but I can feed off of her energy right now. So just imagine what this is going to be like, along with Mr. Mike that's going to be there. He probably won't say anything, right? Because from my understanding, he's kind of shy. Is that right?
He's real quiet. Mhm.
He's real quiet, but at least his presence will say a lot.
Yeah.
It speaks
Well,
volume as
let me
well.
change that. He was quiet before he got the kidney. Now that he's got the kidney, he's talking a lot.
Oh, so you're rubbing off on him
Yes.
indirectly, right?
Yes.
Well, no, no, he like the man in the Bible. Wait a minute, y'all. This I'm healed. I'm
Yes.
healed. You know, when
Yes.
you think when you're at a point where you think I'm near death, and I'm just gonna definitely say from a believer perspective, you may be Mike may be quiet in other instances, but when it comes to
Hmm.
talking about what God has done for him
Oh,
in
yeah.
this instance,
Oh, yes.
you can't. What the folks say? If I can't say a word, what I for you say? I just
Just wave my
wave my
hand.
hand
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
because
Yes.
you have to give praise for that. The
Mhm.
fact that his sister-in-law, y'all, matched. People don't realize that wasn't nothing but a God thing. The
Yeah.
Mhm.
chances of that, be positive, right? Tab,
Yes.
be
Yes.
positive.
Yes.
Be positive. Y'all,
Yes.
majority of the world is oh something, oh positive, oh negative. Okay.
Mhm.
So LaToya, where you going? You turn your camera off. Let me see where she went. I'm gonna take her off till she pop back
Okay.
on.
Okay.
But yeah. So look, you all, this has been great. I want you all that in the Birmingham area to come out and definitely support
Yes.
this at Guiding Light at 1800 John Rogers Drive. And I think I heard you say, Tab, that was your church when you lived here, right?
It was Pastor Low. Yes.
Oh, so
That's
you
why
got this gonna be a homecoming.
that's why I attended. So I'm coming up on Thursday.
Okay, great.
Actually, I'm coming specifically for this event, and I'm leaving back out on Saturday.
Okay, well, great. Well, great. So
Mhm.
you will have a homecoming for
Yes.
sure. For sure. I don't
Mhm.
see Dr. Bishop back on yet. Say, well, look, we know what? I'm gonna praise God that she got in because the
Right.
devil tried it.
Mhm.
He was messing with her bad. So, Tab, you got any closing remarks for the people?
I do. So my thing is, if you are able to be a donor, be one. Like I said, it is the most rewarding experience you will ever have in your life to be able to give someone a part of you that's going to enhance their quality of life. And as a result of this, Mike has gone from taking 55 pills a day, he's
Hmm.
down to 25. And they
That's a
lowered
blessing.
one of the doses. And I'm like I said, I'm prayerful that God is going to continue to reduce that number, But even if he doesn't, Mike said he can take the pill as long as he doesn't have to do dialysis anymore. So he's
Oh
okay with
yeah,
the pill. So, like I said, if you are able to be a donor, be one. It is the greatest gift that you can give someone.
most definitely. Dr. Bishop,
Yes, I'm
anything you
back.
want to add before closing?
I will just say that if you need any additional information about how to register to become an organ donor, if you're in the state of Alabama, you can go to our website at legacyofhope.org. Or if you're out of the state of Alabama, you can go to the universal site, which is registerme.org, to register to become an organ donor. Again, we want you to invite us to events so that we can have these conversations. So I think Miss Val is going to put my contact information again in the chat. And if you happen to forget that information, just call to Legacy of Hope and say, "Can I speak to LaToya?" I'm the only LaToya that's there, so it will be easy to find. And just let us know churches, school, organizations that you're involved in. Like we said, birthdays. Family reunions, anywhere we can get the information out, because sometimes it does take that one-on-one. And we do want you to consider to be a living donor. Although Legacy of Hope, primarily focus on deceased donation, living donation is definitely a very viable option. But a lot of times people have to, make that decision. Like Miss Tab say, the Lord put me here to do this, and I did not want to see him going through dialysis. So if there's something that I can do, I'm going to do it. So, have the conversation early. Call me. As you can see, I'm a down to earth person. We can have a conversation, and I can answer those questions because we need to dispel the myths associated with donation. So, thank you, Miss Val, again for talking to me again and Miss introducing me to the amazing Miss Tab. I can't wait to meet her in person, and we can't wait to see everybody at the August 18th event at God and Light. Come out early at the wellness fair, and then of course it starts at 5:30 and the concert starts at 7. So please, please, please join us. Come up and say, "Hey, I remember seeing you on the show." Shake a hand, give me a business card, I'll call you back and we'll schedule something.
Value on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was coughing. That's why I went on mute. Give me that national website you said go to.
So registerme.org is the national
Okay.
site that you can go to where you can just register to become an organ donor. But if you're in the state
Registerme.org. Okay.
org, or if you're in Alabama, you can go to Legacy of Hope and register as well. Or if you're not in Alabama, you can still go there. But sometimes, your reach is outside of Alabama. So I want to make sure that people get all of the information of how they can register. But also, you can go to the DMV when you get your license renewed, because that's where majority of the people that register to
Yeah.
become an organ donor go. So if you go to the DMV, the clerk is going to ask you, would you like to become an organ donor? Would you consider it? And there should be pamphlets there to tell you what that's about, and you can register and have the heart in your license. But if you forget to do it, or you decide later after you get your license renewed that you want to be an organ donor, you can go to that website, legacyofhope.org, or either registerme.org, so that you can register to become an organ donor and have a conversation with your family member so they know your decision.
I want everybody that's listening, share this with your family and friends. I'm typing you out. The reason I'm not looking up. Make sure that you go out and share this so that we
Mhm.
can build this donor registration so that
Absolutely.
when something comes up, I'm on the bone marrow. I'm probably on all of them. Whatever's out there, I am
So am I.
definitely I am on it because hey, I don't need it after the fact. I mean, and if I can give to somebody now, I would be willing to because I always say I could be in that place and it could be
Yes.
my child or somebody I love. And I just dropped Dr. Bishop's information back in as well. So look, conversation is art. It's the Val and Val show still, even though Valton is not still here, because I have look, my alter ego is the other Val. So you got the Valerie, you got the Val.
Yes, ma'am. And we love it all. We love them both.
Look, I'm saying like I tell people, do you want Valerie from at More or Val from at Mo? They two different people. They ain't the same.
And it's Val from Freemanville.
Yeah,
So let's
Freemanville.
just
I got it correct. Right, Freemanville.
let's
That's
get it
right.
right.
I
A
love it.
community outside of Atmore.
I
There you
love
go.
it.
For sure, for sure. So we enjoyed you all. You all be safe out there. Hopefully, all these pop-up storms will stop happening
That part, yes.
because they have been. We had a fire. We had a tree catch on fire. Look at Ellen talking about you crazy for sure. Hey, always. So we thank you all for joining us tonight. Y'all be safe.
Right.
And football is about to start. So go Blazers, roll tide,
Go
and
team.
other and the other teams. Y'all take care. Bye
All
bye.
right.
Y'all hold
Bye-bye.
on.